Some say he was a hair away from being the first non-Catholic pope. Some say he is strong in the brain but weak in the ribs. Some say he has more views on YouTube than Dale TV. And some say he also forgets how to pronounce his last name. Please welcome Abe Oudshoorn. I was most nervous about doing that, oddly. I would like to spend 5 minutes to talk with you about homelessness and ending homelessness. In the work that I do, people often say to me, "Are you not discouraged?" And actually, I'm hopeful. I think that ending homelessness is a true possibility. Unfortunately, this picture here is where someone in London lives. That's a tractor trailer with the 102 on it, and they've rigged up some metal around that so that they can sleep under that tractor trailer. And to me, that's not okay that we have that in our community. And so I've been thinking about this for a long time through my graduate studies, through my research, and one of the things I'm always asking about is, why are people poor? Why is there poverty? And after years of research, I have realized that people are poor because they don't have very much money. That might sound trite, but it's true. I mean, we talk about emotional poverty, we talk about social poverty, but the kind of poverty I think about when I look at homelessness is a financial poverty. So guess what we need to do in order to make people less poor? Yes, of course, giving them more money, but also another way is to provide them the things that they need to survive in another means. So I've been talking about poverty, I've been talking about homelessness. Are they the same thing? No, they're not absolutely linked, but they're intricately entwined. And so when we look at homelessness, the primary life event prior to a homeless state is job loss. So let's do the math. Someone on social assistance right now receives $606. That's on Ontario Works. The average market rent for a bachelor apartment in London is $535. So you can do the math and you can see that does not leave much wiggle room. When you put in the other life priorities, which is food, which is clothing, which is transportation, it actually costs $846 for someone to live just at the very, very basics in our community. So I would propose that that gap between a minimal cost of living and what people receive through social assistance is actually why we have homelessness in our community. It's the gap that means that people actually can't afford a place to live. And that is a problem. So where else do people go? When they're homeless, people end up in shelter, they end up in hospital, they end up in jail, they end up in mental health institutions. And that all costs us an awful lot of money. It actually costs us a lot less to provide someone with housing than it does with shelter. So what are the two solutions? The two solutions in my mind are affordable housing and addressing people's actual limited income and giving a decent and livable wage. So when I talk about affordable housing, this is a presentation I gave to council through budget this year. And basically, we're doing affordable housing well. We're creating some really good new affordable housing, but not nearly fast enough. So our capacity for affordable housing isn't keeping up with the rates of poverty in our community. However, affordable housing is still tricky because it's only counted as 80% of average market rent, which at a one-bedroom is still $572. Remembering $606 when you're on Ontario Works, even affordable housing isn't that affordable. So what do we do about the income? Well, these aren't just my ideas. The Social Assistance Review Commission spent 2 years, talked to over 3,000 people to figure this out, and they recommended an immediate increase of $100 to social assistance rates. So I ask you, what would it look like if social assistance rates actually let people live at average market? Think about what that would do for landlords in terms of vacancies. Think what that would do for people to be able to live interspersed throughout the community instead of ghettoized into poor neighborhoods. Confucius said, in a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. And I think Canadians, although talking about increasing social assistance rates has a very touchy subject politically, I think Canadians do want to do something about poverty. And the fact that we were just rated very poorly, we got a D out of grading of how we're doing in poverty in Canada. And I think Canadians want to change that. I think they want something different. And $10,000 a year income, which is what I'm proposing here, is not that much. So what is the most effective tool? Affordable housing is one solution, but until we address the root causes of poverty, which is income, we won't create long-term change. I want to say I'm not negating the fact that some people, plus money, plus housing, also need supports for mental illness, for addictions, so I just wanted to add that in there. So I think we could end homelessness tomorrow. If we had the public will, if we had the political will, we could create a system like Denmark or like the Netherlands where they don't have homelessness in their streets. It won't be free, but I feel it'll be the right thing to do. So it's a challenge to you, and I would love to hear your feedback on this. Thank you.